Okay, are we back? Are we back now? Go ahead and say something in chat if you guys can hear me. See me. Okay, good. Also, if you guys are coming in because of a new notification because the stream did reset and became a new stream, I am putting this warning out there right now. We are very deep into this game, so if you do not want spoilers for Master Detective Archives Raincode, I highly recommend leaving the stream now. I will give you guys a few seconds to abandon the stream because we are very. This is the chapter that Spike Chunsoft himself said that needed to have heavy spoiler warnings across everything, and I probably do need to repin my my pin message here. And of course it's not going to let me. Oh no, it says it's still pinned. So we should be fine. Let me jump into my stream manager real quick. 1 second here. Okay, so it is saying that it's pinned already. All right, so I have given ample time and ample warning. So if you do get spoiled for this game, may God have mercy on your soul. I figured 2 minutes was plenty of time for people to leave if they needed to. So. Because this is a heavily story-based game, so okay, here we go. Let's see what we got here.
You're the ones who killed Dr. Weska. You disarmed the security system to the doctor's lab, and then murdered him inside. Until you actually entered the lab, the security system for the critical lab stayed active. It's impossible to bypass the system while it's active.
That's true.
In other words, no one can enter the doctor's lab.
Well, somebody did.
There couldn't be an intruder.
This is the truth.
Thank you for the head pats. The music's different too.
When the body was first discovered, Amapal was about to enter the doctor's lab, but something bumped into it and knocked it over. In fact, there was a mark on Amapal's head, like someone kicked it. That mark wasn't there when we borrowed it. It's proof that someone else was in the lab.
You call that evidence?
Yes.
Is bullshit the only thing that comes out of that mouth?
All right, looks like we're not done with this fight just yet.
Don't make me laugh.
Oh, it's a rebuttal. Okay.
Shit. There was an intruder? That's impossible. And in fact, you proved that yourself.
Hey, what? Okay, I guess it was that.
Damn.
Don't make me laugh.
Okay, well, it's clearly the last one.
Shit. There was an intruder? That's impossible. And in fact, you proved that yourself.
That statement doesn't hold up.
Claim doesn't hold up. What do you mean? We proved there wasn't an intruder.
You still don't understand? Don't make me laugh.
This is the longest one in the game so far.
If there was another intruder,
What?
then where
Oh
did
shit.
they go? By the time you arrived at the scene, there was no one else, right?
That's true.
There's no place to hide in the critical lab.
I'll slash through this mystery.
Okay. Kind of nailing it right now.
There's a hiding spot. It's inside the airlock's decontamination device. The vents cover can be easily removed, and there's just enough space for someone to fit inside. If they hid inside the decontamination device, we wouldn't have seen them when we arrived at the scene.
So what? You've got it all wrong anyway. Everything is wrong. Your existence is all wrong. Have fun chasing that fake truth you found.
Okay, so we got through that one perfectly. That was awesome.
We managed to defeat him this time, but it's not over yet.
He sure is persistent, huh?
Anyway, there's no doubt someone else was inside the doctor's lab. So let's unravel each mystery one at a time.
All right, we'll get it this time.
Come on, why does it have to be so sudden?
Okay, now that we've wedged our way into this mystery, we just gotta head through the labyrinth and reach the truth.
We just answered that. Yes, of course there was an intruder.
Right here!
We're just now getting to the point. What a pain.
Hey, don't sigh. This is a good thing.
Sorry.
Anyway, let's head inside.
There was an intruder for sure. We know someone bumped into Amapao.
The culprit probably hit Amapao on their way out. After that, they must have intended to leave the lab, but they couldn't because we were in the front chamber. So they hid inside the decontamination device to avoid us.
So, if you checked inside the decontamination device on the way to the scene, you would have caught the culprit then and there.
Yeah, but it was an emergency and we had no idea they were in there.
It's super lame to make up excuses, Master.
It's not an excuse,
Zilch pulled the same stunt.
but it is true. If I had thought about why Amapao was knocked over at that time, I would have realized the culprit was in there. We could have waited in ambush or searched for them. And if I'd caught the culprit then, Chief Yako wouldn't have gotten stabbed.
Master, wallowing in regret is even lamer. If you have time for that, you have time to keep going.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Really? Another fork in the path.
I don't...
Seems like we're finally at the central question. This is the first step to solving how the culprit committed an impossible murder.
I leave the rest to you. I'm going to read a book or something.
You can bring your own stuff into the mystery labyrinth?
He's just special.
Well, we already proved that there was somebody there, so never entered in the first place has to be a lie. Deactivating the security by cutting the power. They only cut the power to the main lab, not the hidden lab. So they had to have been invited in. But none of these make sense. I'm going with invited in, and they might have been wearing a mask. And then when they took it off, he might have been like, "What the fuck?"
Right here.
Was I right? Yep. Let's go.
Doctor invited the culprit in? But why?
Things are so muddled now because we're assuming the culprit forced their way inside. If the culprit was invited to the lab, then he easily would have been able to enter.
Ah, so you think the doctor disabled the security? He wouldn't need it if he was expecting a guest.
Huh?
Guess you were wrong, Yuma. Well, I already knew that before you entered.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
You wanted me to tell you? You should have said so earlier.
Shut up, Vivia.
People only grow by learning from past mistakes, which is why I purposely...
And fall.
Master, we have to get out of here!
How do we get out?
Use logic to show how this route is the wrong one!
All right, I'll try.
Use logic to show how it's wrong? Oh.
The log on the doctor's computer didn't show any signs of security getting shut
And the only reason why there was only one key was because of my level ups.
If that's the case, he certainly didn't cut security just to let someone in.
I am so fucking confused right now.
Well, I may have messed up, but at least we got a little closer to the truth.
Maybe, but if you hadn't messed up in the first place, you wouldn't have to come up with such a lame excuse.
I know. I'll do better next time.
No, but we clearly advanced. Like, we didn't get penalized for that, so... Oh my god, this case is fucking incredible. Like usually I'm pretty good at, like, piecing things together. So... Okay... I guess I'm assuming we're gonna have to try all three.
The culprit used the blackout to slip past security and into the lab. That answer is pretty simple. Almost too simple.
Yeah, I don't think it's right. Use logic to prove how it was wrong.
Huh? This route is wrong too? Again?
No need to worry, Yuma. I don't mind it at all if we can't find a way to move forward.
Sheesh. Even I'm losing motivation. You can take care of this on your own.
Don't let him influence you! The doctor said the critical lab was on a separate grid, and the lab switchboard wasn't in the electrical room. The security wouldn't shut off, even if there was a blackout in the building.
So... What? Then they're all gonna be wrong.
No excuses, Master. Do it again.
You're tired, Yuma. Why don't you lie down for a bit?
I would love to.
Resting here wouldn't help me at all.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have to prove that the center one is wrong, which we already know what the key would be for that.
culprit never entered? But you said there's no doubt the culprit was in there.
Perhaps the intruder is not the culprit after all.
So you're saying that the doctor committed suicide?
No, that's impossible.
If the doctor committed suicide, then the culprit wasn't the intruder, but the doctor himself.
But if the doctor did it, there would be no intruder. The doctor was already in the lab.
Huh? What? This was the last route!
This labyrinth is a tricky one. Perhaps you're the real culprit, Yuma.
Really, Master?
Of course not! Focus! We need to get out of here!
Yeah, obviously. It stabbed itself in the back.
That's right. One stab would have indicated that he held the knife in place, then fell on it to kill himself. But he couldn't have made 3 wounds like that. There's no way it was a suicide.
Okay, so all 3 were wrong. So
What's going on? We're all
yeah, I'll
3
try to
routes
make sure it gets uploaded as soon as possible. I'm gonna try to upload all the VODs at the same time so the entire series is viewable. So you have yourself a good one.
Hey, there's another door.
I get it! Since we proved that every possibility was wrong, a new one has appeared.
Interesting. The mystery labyrinth not only materializes the case, but also changes based on your investigation.
Right. Something felt off about those other routes. It's almost like we were forced to choose the wrong way.
But by eliminating each wrong answer one by one, you opened the path to the right answer.
You sound disappointed.
Who cares? Let's just see what's in the final
They use spectral projection to enter and kill?
Then, the culprit... I can't believe the culprit entered the labyrinth with us. That's never happened before. How dare you trick me! There is no escape! Once the mystery labyrinth is solved, the culprit will be judged! Master, let's finish up this mystery labyrinth and boom kill this dude!
What?
Hold on!
The culprit was Vivia? I don't believe that.
Huh? Another trap?
That's why I said to wait. There's no way Vivia's the culprit.
Then, prove it and beat this thing! I won't be convinced until you do!
It's obvious he couldn't be the culprit because he can't. Because the ghost form traits. You cannot touch anything, you cannot take over someone's body, nor can it be heard. He couldn't have held the knife. Like, come on.
To begin with, nothing can be touched while in ghost form. He couldn't have held the murder weapon, the knife. So it's not possible that he stabbed the doctor. Now do you trust Vivia?
Master, I've said this 1,000 times, but a detective must suspect everything. Besides, it's his fault for being so sketchy. The way he looks, how he talks, everything is super suspicious.
Sorry. I do try to stay out of sight.
Anyway, let's go back.
And then now it's gonna say the culprit used time rewind.
And we're back to square one.
Let's try going back to the fork in the path. Maybe something else changed.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. This case has got me, my head is hurting so bad just doing this case. Like, I have no fucking clue. Because once we figure out how they entered the lab, I feel like I might be able to piece something together.
Nothing's changed.
There aren't any new doors. What? There's nowhere to go? What was the point of eliminating all the other paths?
Come on.
Don't start with that again. How about you help us for a change? You better cooperate, unless you want to get chopped up by Master Solution Blade.
Hold on, Shinigami.
I don't want to get chopped up. I dislike pain immensely. But you know, the journey up to now wasn't a waste. We did eliminate many possibilities.
But that means nothing if we can't reach the truth.
Nothing? Why do you want the truth in the first place?
Huh?
It's easy to say you want the truth. But are you sure you can handle it? No matter how cruel the truth may be?
Can I handle it?
I'm still not sure if you're the kind of person who can. I bet you're not sure either. And that's why you're still so hesitant. This mystery labyrinth also reflects your reluctance. Maybe that's why you can't reach the truth.
What are you talking about? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I won't hesitate to expose the truth.
So you still haven't realized it? Guess you're not quite there yet. Well, that's fine for now. But eventually, you'll be forced to make a choice. When that happens, you have to prove your conviction and expose the truth. Like you said.
Enough nonsense. Let's find some clue.
As an apology for the distraction, let me tell you something. This labyrinth appears to change shape by reflecting our investigation. So, instead of following the revealed path, isn't it possible to carve your own path?
Carve my own path? That's right, Shinigami! We can create new routes with our own deductions. Maybe we can do it here.
Sometimes, just a slight change in perspective is enough to completely change how you see things.
So if I change my perspective here, I might see something new. I see. I was so focused on how to overcome the security system. But that's not right. I need to change my perspective and think about who could have overcome it.
Don't box yourself in with your own assumptions.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
I hate when the anemic vampire tells us what to do. But if Master wants to, then fine. I'll lend you my power.
Who could have done it? I have no idea what answer they're going to want me to give here.
Are you ready to play the Shinigami puzzle? Tick tock, tick tock. You're wrong.
I have no idea.
Great.
Huh? Oh, Amaterasu.
Nice. You can do it, Master. Only 30 seconds left, Master. That's not it. You're wrong.
Oh, what? What? Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. I feel so stupid.
Nothing's changed.
There aren't any new doors.
It's Amapal. I'm a fucking idiot. I feel so fucking stupid. Like the second the timer ran out, I was like, oh my god. The dash. Like I saw the dash and that's what threw me off. I don't think that really tells us anything, though. I don't really think that tells us anything. Of course Amapal can get through that. We knew this. Obviously, I fucked up.
A new route appeared.
This is all thanks to me.
Perhaps I said too much.
I wish you'd express yourself a little better.
I've never been happy or sad in my entire life.
Well, damn.
I want to die someday.
This guy's hopeless.
Anyway, let's explore this new route.
When you think about who could get past security, the only option we know of is Amapal.
True, and that's how we were able to get through security ourselves.
But it's just a toy robot, right? How is it related to the case?
I don't know yet, but since Amapal can get through security, it must be important.
Oh boy.
It's sealed off here, too.
Hey, there's an intercom. Maybe someone will respond if you use it.
No way. Huh? Doctor?
Huh? Wait. What the? Wait. Who are you? Help! Somebody come help me!
Isn't this the footage of when the doctor was attacked?
Yeah, you're right.
The mystery materialized. So the question is, who did the doctor say? Who are you? Well, I'll leave it to you.
I don't get how you can keep reading at a time like this.
At this point in time, you still, however weird it may be to talk, and normally...
What?
The trap didn't activate. Does that mean we found the right answer? Huh? So the right answer is no one? Why would the doctor say, "Who are you?" if no one was there?
The security was still active at the time, so no one could enter the doctor's lab, right? And that was before I borrowed Amapal. So the only explanation is that no one was there.
Why would he say that if no one was there?
I think if we go there, we'll find the answer.
What? That route's obviously just a side road. Who cares what the old geezer was thinking anyway?
But it looks like this is the only way we can go. Besides, I am curious about what was going through his mind. It could be an important factor in solving the mystery behind this case.
Still, being forced to take a side route is too much trouble.
What was the doctor's motive?
So, Master, do you have an idea about what the geezer was thinking?
Not yet, but I think it has to do with why he said, "Who are you?" I think the doctor was putting on an act.
An act? Really?
The doctor put on an act for a reason, but I have no idea why. We have to figure that out by going down this doctor's motive route.
Could it have been that he was actually killed forever ago? Well, he said his body was still warm, so that doesn't make any sense.
You rats keep scurrying around. Do you really think you'll discover Dr. Weska's motive this way? Good luck with that, morons! He had no motive at all!
Well, he said there's nothing here. Let's head back.
We can't do that! If he's trying to block our path, then this route must be important.
Nah.
I'm only here because you maggots piss me off. So, I'm gonna end you here and now! This was all part of the doctor's plan? He didn't have a plan at all. That exchange on the intercom wasn't an act. There was no reason to put on a show. The doctor misunderstood. You probably don't know this. Weska put his soul into his work.
Damn it.
The research was going well. The doctor was loyal to Amaterasu.
God damn it. I had the right key and I switched it for some fucking reason.
Knew it.
But
No.
So fucking mad that
This
I
was all
switched the
part of the
key.
doctor's plan. He That exchange on the intercom. There was no reason to put on a show. The doctor misunderstood.
Oh, come on.
You probably don't know this. Weska put his soul into his work. The research was going well. The doctor was loyal to Amaterasu.
This is the truth.
I'm so mad. I had the fucking right key and I switched it. And then I ended up getting hit like 3 fucking times.
No. The doctor was planning on betraying Amaterasu Corporation. He was trying to escape Kanai Ward. He said so in the messages he wrote.
You little...
That was it? Just one? No, that was kind of lame. The first one was really fun because it was so long, but that one was only one?
Yomi's rebuttal. What was he trying to deny? Why was he covering up the doctor's motives?
It seems that this case involves the inner workings of Amaterasu.
Right. The doctor was going to betray Amaterasu. And whoever he was emailing knew that. So the doctor locked himself in the lab to protect himself from that person.
Perhaps the doctor's act had something to do with that. It's the security gate. Everything's locked up.
which means this is a complex problem. We have to choose the right door and insert the correct solution key.
This is way more hassle than before.
As always.
Oh, the door actually opened.
Are you sure you aren't a phantom?
So he was gonna burn his face? And he was gonna switch places with Makoto, I'm guessing? Well, then why the fuck wouldn't you just borrow his mask?
So the doctor tried to swap places with someone else to escape from Amaterasu. The notes he left behind in the lab hinted at his plan.
You mean the diagram with the sulfuric acid being poured on someone?
Yeah, he was going to swap places with a corpse, then melt it with acid.
Oh, never mind.
He wanted to disfigure it beyond recognition. That's how he planned to fake his own death.
At the very least, it'd buy him enough time to escape Kanai Ward. Or so he thought.
Wow! Melting a corpse with sulfuric acid? Yay! So cool and grotesque! So who was the substitute supposed to be?
Maybe the hitman. The doctor was under surveillance by Amaterasu, but he was still looking for a chance to escape. When he learned a hitman was after him, he figured his chance had arrived. The doctor was hoping to use the security system to kill the hitman and use the body as a decoy.
Now that I think about it, the doctor did seem to be waiting for the hitman to arrive.
The hitman hasn't arrived yet. When will he show up? Don't tell me this so-called first-rate hitman was captured by Peacekeeper.
But the hitman never did show up. That's why the doctor had a sudden change of plans.
And that was the act he put on by asking, "Who are you?"
Perhaps that was a trap to lure you in, Yuma.
He was trying to lure Master?
He considered taking advantage of the detectives, since the hitman never showed up. So if he called for help, he would charge into the lab, not knowing anything about the security system, and thereby acquire the corpse he needed as his decoy.
That seems overly complicated. Like those guys who overthink asking girls out?
Well, he couldn't have used another researcher. Someone would have noticed their absence. He needed visitors, people from outside to pull it off.
So if I didn't know about the security and had rushed into the lab...
You'd be a super sexy skeleton right now. Aw, so close.
You want that?
But the doctor's plan failed, and he actually got boom killed by the hitman. I get what he was trying to do, but what about the impossible murder?
Assuming the attack on the doctor was just an act when we saw him through the intercom, we at least know for sure the real attack hadn't happened yet.
In other words, the culprit entered the lab after that exchange. So the problem is, when did they actually enter?
Where are we?
This place is a real mystery. Then again, I suppose that checks out.
Huh? Shinigami?
Yeah! Master, this looks like an important turning point! So, is that your final answer?
I haven't said anything yet!
Master, you need to narrow down the timing for when the culprit got inside.
I think the culprit was there the whole time. I think the culprit has been there for 3 months.
Now then, here's our fateful fork in the road. We are at the crossroads of mystery and solution. This earth-shattering choice may be your last. Now, Master, which one will you choose?
When I directed Amapal to go into the doctor's lab, he already had a knife stuck in him, which means he was murdered before Amapal entered the doctor's lab.
Your answer? Is correct! Congratulations, Master! Would you like to double down?
What are you talking about? Anyway, let's keep going.
Little by little, we're narrowing down when the culprit entered.
I'm telling you, I think the culprit was there for 3 months.
But we still don't know how yet. It had to be between when we spoke to the doctor over the intercom and when Amapal entered his lab.
I don't think so.
During that time, the culprit entered the doctor's lab and murdered him.
So the most likely time would be when you went to borrow Amapal, Master. The culprit had to have entered the lab then.
But Fubuki waited at the front chamber while Desuhiko and
No.
I went to borrow Amapal. She said no one entered or left the lab.
Fuck. God damn it. I know who did it. And I'm so fucking pissed off right now. I know who did it.
We're back on the original path.
Maybe you're supposed to try opening that door now.
Wait, no. That still doesn't make sense.
I'm sure that from here on out, it's not just about when, but also how the culprit got in. Yuma, there's no need to push yourself if things get too hard.
No, I can do it. I'm going to solve it.
This is a map of the critical lab.
I hope I'm wrong, but I think I know who did it, and it makes me really fucking upset.
So we have to determine where the culprit was before the murder.
We'll have to solve them one at a time. Let's start with this mystery.
If we know where the culprit was before they got in, this route will be clear too. Do you know where, Yuma? At least one detective was always in the front.
Right.
As long as the security was still locked.
Here.
Oh, okay.
The culprit must have been here.
Then maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm off base, and maybe I won't be really upset.
It opened!
After the exchange on the intercom, given there was always a detective at the front chamber, when we went to borrow Amapal, the culprit had... to have already made their way inside. But the airlock is the only location that isn't affected by the security system. There, the culprit had to be inside that decontamination device before committing the crime.
Are you sure?
But I thought he was just hiding in there to avoid being spotted after the crime. So you think the culprit was in there before the crime too?
Yeah, the culprit was waiting for their chance. But we had no idea when we sent Amapel into the airlock.
And from there, Yuma, you guided Amapel to the doctor's lab.
Oh, so they just
So
followed.
the culprit entered the doctor's lab before then?
Wait, no.
How would that be possible?
Yeah, wait,
Only
no.
Amapel could get past security, right?
Yeah, that's the next big question.
No, so what they did was they waited for Amapel to
Maybe the
drive
culprit
past.
used another Amapel unit.
So they waited for the
No,
culprit, or
The
the
researcher
culprit
mentioned
waited.
there was only one
God damn it.
functioning Amapel.
Hang on. I'm gonna pause just to get my thoughts. So what I think happened was they were hiding in there the whole time while we were trying to get the Amapel unit through there. And they legitimately just waited and watched Amapel as we went through all the security stuff. And then when Amapel was going through the door, they knocked it over by jumping on top of it and then killing the doctor.
Which means the Amapel Yuma controlled was the only one that could get
That's my
past
thought
security.
process right now.
So the culprit must have taken advantage of Master's Amapel to get into the doctor's lab.
Yeah, that's the only way. But how did they use it? There's no solving the doctor's murder until we figure that out.
Well, I have an idea. Will you hear me out?
What is it?
How about giving up?
God damn it,
I'm
Lydia.
getting tired.
Nope, motion denied. Another fork in the road? Such a complicated mystery labyrinth.
Yeah, there's a chance this is the final chapter, so I have no idea if it is or not. There might be one more after this. Yeah, he followed it. They would have had to have followed it.
Beyond each problem lies the truth. We're definitely getting closer to the heart of this mystery.
Yeah, I'm gonna say as a shield.
Huh? What do you mean, use Amapel as a shield?
Amapel is supposed to be sturdy enough to withstand an elephant stepping on it, right? The culprit may have used Amapel as a shield against the security system.
So, the culprit followed behind Amapel to avoid the toxic gas and explosions?
I get it! You're so smart, Master!
Really? I don't think so.
Hey! Master just showed off how smart and logical he is. Master wasn't smart after all! Come on, take it from the top!
I didn't mean to hit that.
Yeah! Even if Amapel itself is fine, it wouldn't be able to protect the culprit from the toxic gas. Even though Amapel is sturdy, it couldn't withstand the high voltage shock from the panel chamber. Which means it'd be impossible to use Amapel to protect yourself.
You're only realizing this now. At this rate, you'll be a grandpa before you stop being
We're gonna
a
have to
rookie.
go through all three again.
Perhaps you will improve in the next life.
I'm trying my best in this lot.
Okay, so I guess we'll try as a weapon. I really thought I was doing the right
You
thing.
used Amapal as a weapon? What does that mean?
Well, it means exactly what it sounds like. For example, what if it was already programmed to kill the doctor on sight? Or maybe there were two controllers, and the culprit was controlling it at the exact moment of the crime. If that's the case, then I was the one who brought the murder weapon right to the doctor.
But Yuma, you watched Amapal's camera footage the whole time, didn't you? You would have seen the moment Amapal murdered the doctor.
Maybe fake footage was being shown instead. It could have fooled us.
Someone could program all that? How convenient! It's like I could do anything!
What do you think of my reasoning, Vivia?
I have nothing to say about it. Besides... Yep, I knew it.
You sounded so confident, and you got it wrong! Take responsibility and get us out of here!
He couldn't even hold a knife.
That's right! Because of the way Amapal's hands are shaped, it's impossible for it to hold a knife!
One more, Master!
The doctor's corpse had 3 stab wounds, but there was only 1 knife in his body. If it had launched knives at him, there would be 3 stuck in him.
Okay, so the answer... No.
Of course, even if Amapal was programmed to move a certain way or display fake footage, if the knife is the murder weapon, then it's impossible for Amapal itself to have been part of the killing.
Your life is nothing but mistakes, Master. You break my heart as your mentor.
Vivia, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just a bit drowsy.
Now?
Anyway, now we gotta do it over. Time to pick a different route, Master.
Yeah.
Now, how in the fuck is this gonna be wrong?
Do you think neither is really the right answer?
Given the process of elimination, that must be it. Amapal's hands aren't designed to hold anything, so it couldn't use the knife to murder the doctor, which means Amapal wasn't the murder weapon, and the culprit couldn't have used it as a shield. It can't neutralize the toxic gas, and the high-voltage shock would destroy it.
So then, how did the culprit use Amapal?
I think we'll find out if we continue down this path.
That was the wrong answer! Come on, Master!
Ow!
Huh?
We've been here before. It looks like we've been brought back.
But the door we opened earlier is closed again. Why's that?
Yeah, I wonder why.
Huh? Even the question is the same. Does that mean we gotta do it all over again?
Well, the logic is still sound. There's no other hiding spot for the culprit besides the airlock.
So you want to choose the same answer and keep going?
If you do, you'll just repeat the whole process again. We'll just be brought back here if we can't figure out how did the culprit use Amapal. And I refuse to walk any more than I have to.
Hey, don't sit down!
What should I do?
Stand up! Stand up right now!
Stop it. Leave me alone.
If you want me to leave you alone, then help my useless master out!
Fine. We're back at... Where was the culprit before the crime? Because you're stuck at... How did the culprit use Amapao? With that in mind, these two questions are connected.
Connected? Both the culprit's location and how Amapao was used?
Help him out more! More!
The culprit was hiding in the airlock, where you also left the robot, right? At that moment, only the culprit and Amapao were there. So maybe the culprit did something.
The culprit did something to Amapao?
Clues are always there, right under your nose. It's a detective's job to notice them. Did you notice anything strange back then?
Something strange. Hey! Now that you mention it, back then...
Oh hey, the screen lit up. So this is what Amapao sees. It's like the cockpit of a mecha.
Whoa, what was that? Did it break already?
I thought it was state of the art.
Okay, so Tetsuhiko saw it too.
No, it's alright. It's stabilized. There was a moment when the camera stopped functioning while I was controlling Amapao. It returned to normal pretty quick, but maybe...
See? I told you it was right under your nose.
That was a clue to help solve this mystery?
Actually, everything in this world is a key to solving mysteries. You just haven't noticed them. Perhaps there is more you're overlooking.
Something unusual. Something I missed.
Anything else? It's not like Amapao's camera showed the culprit.
Wait, that's it!
Huh?
Now that I think about it, wasn't that strange? The culprit must have gotten ahead of Amapao, but why didn't they ever show up on the camera? If the culprit went past Amapao to enter the doctor's lab, they would have been spotted for sure.
Now that you mention it...
But nobody showed up on camera. How did the culprit manage to pull that off? How can you move from the airlock to the doctor's lab without appearing even once on Amapao's camera?
Hey, aren't you just adding another mystery?
No. All the pieces are here.
Huh?
Yuma, the mysteries you face now can be solved with a single answer.
A single answer?
Sheesh. I talk too much.
Oh, one mystery after another! What do you do now? It's a Pandora...
Let's stay calm and think about it.
Or not. I'll keep reading while you wrap
I
things
think I
up.
finally figured out why the footprint was on top of it when he knocked it
Never
over.
would have said, Master. All it takes is one answer to solve these mysteries. Use those weak brain cells of yours.
Culprit's location, Amapao's usage, its malfunction. Why didn't the culprit appear on camera? All this can be solved with just one answer. Rode on Amapao's head, using it as a method of transportation.
Oh, okay, so that clears the person that I was suspecting of suspicion. Oh, Fubuki. I'm so sorry that I doubted you.
With every open door.
Because she
It will
was
be
standing,
harder
she
for
was
you to
holding our
turn
hand the
back.
entire time we were controlling
you
Amapao. There's
sure
no way
you
she
wanna
could have
keep
been the
going?
culprit.
Absolutely. I will find the truth no matter what.
At least I
This is
hope
for the
that's the
Nocturnal
case.
Detective Agency.
But I still do think it might have been one of the detectives.
Hey, You said the culprit rode on top of Amapal. What did you mean by that?
Literally what I said. The culprit rode Amapal and used it to get through. After we left Amapal in the airlock, the culprit came out of the decontamination device. Then they jumped on Amapal's head. The disruption in the footage was from the impact.
That's insane.
Is it? I think it's fairly reasonable. Amapal can withstand up to 100 kilograms of weight. So, someone riding on it shouldn't affect its functionality.
The shoe print on Amapal's head wasn't caused by someone kicking it. It was left there from the culprit hopping on and off.
After that, the culprit simply rode on it as it moved toward the doctor's lab. By doing so, the culprit was able to evade the camera and remain hidden as they made their way through the lab.
You're right. If it's true, then it does solve all of the previous mysteries. Imagine the culprit riding on a robot. Makes me laugh.
But Yuma, have you not realized it? You're still missing something. One major mystery remains.
How did they survive the toxic gas?
What's with that huge sigh?
The greatest mystery of this case should appear soon. Just the thought of it gets me feeling down.
This case's greatest mystery?
Yeah, how would the culprit have survived the toxic gas?
This is the panel chamber.
That means the doctor's lab is just beyond it. If we can get through here, we'll reach the goal, yeah? Is this the greatest mystery you mentioned?
Not exactly what I was envisioning.
Well, this is the mystery to be solved.
Beats me.
Really?
The culprit murdered the doctor before Amapal entered the room, which means the culprit had to have gotten ahead of Amapal at some point. It was when the door first opened. At that moment, the culprit snuck into the doctor's room.
Yeah, when the doors were slowly opening, just like this. That's when the culprit took their chance.
Right. The moment there was enough space for a person to slip through, the culprit hopped off and went inside.
Like this? We still haven't reached the goal.
No, I still think we have a long way.
Lab now.
Is this a joke to you? Your deduction is full of holes. If this is a joke, it's not very funny.
Master, you know what to do.
Of course.
I'll take your garbage deduction and toss it in the trash. I am the saint of Kanai Ward, protecting it from filth like you! The culprit hopped off Amapal as the door opened, then slipped through the gap in the door. That's impossible, even for Fink the Slaughter Artist! Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed just a bit, the camera would have caught it. No one would do something so risky. the crime would have been exposed. The culprit must be really lucky.
Never mind.
What does that mean?
Safe.
Oh, I was right.
The culprit hopped off Amapal as the door opened,
Again,
then
fuck.
slipped through the gap in the door.
Once again, I doubt it. I was overthinking it again.
That's impossible even for Fink the Slaughter Artist. Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed just a bit, the camera would have caught it. No one would do something so risky. The crime would have been exposed. The culprit must be really lucky.
Really?
That's right.
The culprit hopped off Amapal opened,
God
then
damn
slipped
it.
through the gap in the door. That's impossible even for Fink the Slaughter Artist. Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed just a bit,
I'll slash through this mystery.
What are you doing?
Amapal is designed so that when its hand is stretched out, it won't execute any other inputs. That's why when it was pressing the button for the door, the culprit didn't show up on the camera.
you little maggots, don't get so full of yourself. You're not getting out of here alive.
Again, just one? Come on. Even though that one took me forever. I'm actually kind of mad that I fucked it up.
I get it. So Amapal couldn't move while the door was opening. That's when the culprit took their chance.
Since the door opens
So the culprit
outward,
had to have
it's
known
possible to
about
take advantage of the
Amapal's
blind spot it creates.
functions.
That's how the culprit managed to stay outside the camera's view as they entered the doctor's room.
So it's an elaborate murder that took advantage of Amapal's design, and even the direction the door opens. Whoever planned this must have really wanted the doctor dead. I guess you can call it an obsession. How scary. Just like this passageway. Where will it take us? Perhaps a suite with the culprit's obsession on full display? A room of nightmares?
Knock it off with the weird soliloquies. Let's go.
You're really going?
Huh?
Dead? What's with this thing?
Hey, Yuma. When the culprit entered the doctor's room while the door was open,
Huh? Yeah.
at the time, the doctor was in the room, right? If the door opened and an intruder entered, how could the doctor not have noticed?
So what if he did notice? It's not a big deal.
Yes, it is. If he had noticed an intruder, the doctor would have turned to face him, which means he wouldn't have been stabbed in the back.
That piece of
That's-
trash is right. Your logic is
A
flawed.
really good point, actually.
Hey, what are you, on the Phantom side now?
Listen to my incredible words of wisdom. Your crappy deduction is worth less than shit! Everything you do is a fucking mistake!
Vivia finally opens his mouth, and it's actually like one of the smartest things he could have said. That's actually a really good point.
Damn it! Your deduction is inconsistent. It's is full of inconsistencies!
I dodged that, but okay.
By your logic, even if the doctor could be stabbed, it wouldn't be from behind.
That flame doesn't hold up! No, the culprit did stab the doctor in the back. That's how the body was discovered.
That's why I'm saying your deduction is inconsistent. By your logic, the doctor couldn't have been murdered in that way! The culprit quickly entered the lab. But the doctor was in the room at the time, right?
Oh, yep.
There's no way you missed an intruder. Running is noisy. So Wesker would have heard and turned to face the culprit.
Oh, I would have slashed that one.
And his chest would have been stabbed, not his back. Unless you think the doctor was asleep. Is there any trace of him being drugged? Even if he didn't look back from his desk, he would have heard someone coming.
This is the truth. Wait, the doctor had trouble hearing. That's why he didn't notice the intruder.
Now you're spouting nonsense. Say whatever you want, it won't save you. There's a gaping hole in your logic. And there's no way you're gonna fill it at this rate, because you, more than anyone else, you're the one refusing to see the truth right before your eyes.
What? I refuse to see the truth? Vivius said the same thing. But...
It's strange, don't you think? Isn't it about time you noticed that something's off here?
Huh?
You've solved many mysteries up to now, yet none of them are directly connected to the culprit's identity.
That's because the culprit is the hitman.
If that's the case, why haven't you reaped the hitman's soul? And that would end the labyrinth.
It's not that easy. The culprit will fight back, unless we solve all the mysteries first. Hang on. What are you getting at?
In my eyes, the reason a single mystery hasn't been directly connected to the culprit is because of Yuma's reluctance. It's pushing away the mysteries that lead to the culprit.
Huh?
Subconsciously, you're closing your eyes to the truth.
I was right. It is somebody we know.
That's why you haven't touched on the hole in your reasoning.
What hole?
Whatever, that's enough. Just ignore this guy and keep going.
Hey!
Yuma. Yuma.
Jeez, go away!
You know what I'm talking about, don't you? The huge hole in this investigation.
What are you...
Just ignore him.
Let's review your deduction, shall we? The culprit took advantage of Amapau's locked position and entered the lab.
Yes.
And before the robot entered the room, that person stabbed the doctor from behind.
Also, yes.
However, they bumped into Amapau while escaping, causing it to fall over. That was obviously a mistake, but since it wasn't captured on video, they were able to avoid detection. After that, the culprit went inside the decontamination device in the airlock to hide from you.
That's correct. So what's the hole in my deduction?
It's before all of that. It remains the case's greatest mystery.
Which is?
How did the culprit get past security?
What?
We already told you that. The culprit rode on top of Amapau as Master controlled it and was taken all the way to the doctor's lab.
No, he's talking about how the fuck did they get down to the main lab to begin with.
But if someone was riding on it, how did they get past the high voltage shocks in the panel chamber?
Oh.
This is the end for you! You have nowhere left to go!
Oh, come on! Why now?
I won't let you maggots ruin the peace of Kanai Ward! As the king of Amaterasu
I know who the culprit
Corporation
is.
and the guardian of Kanai Ward!
I know who it
I will
is.
stop.
Perhaps this too is an obsession. Why does he insist on covering up the truth? Tell me, what will you do, Yuma? Are you going to stay willfully
I'm not
blind?
gonna say it until the game decides that it's
No,
time,
I'll
but
fight.
I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
Subconscious or not, I won't look away from the truth. I'll find the truth no matter what. This is for the Chief and everyone at the Nocturnal Detective Agency.
Good luck.
Yeah,
You'll
I think-
never find it.
I think Vivian
You'll
knows who
scurry
it is
around
too.
this labyrinth forever, like blind mice. You'll rot away in it, looking for an answer that will never come. Keep playing with your shit, Dutchins. You still haven't solved the greatest mystery. How did the culprit get past the security? The critical lab security system was always live. There was no way to reach the doctor. The panel chamber shocks would have fried the culprit. That security system? No living human can breach it.
I'll slash through this mystery. A human could get past the panel chamber by using Fubuki's forte. In fact, that's how we got past the panels. The high voltage shocks kept destroying Amapau.
Which means the culprit had to have known about Fubuki's forte.
But we reversed time every time that happened.
Correct. So whenever it was struck by the current, you went back in time. But while that was occurring, the culprit, a human, was riding on top of Amapau. That person was burnt to a crisp every time you failed.
But
Which means you killed the culprit over and over again.
Vivia,
If only you had chosen to remain ignorant, I would have walked beside you in silence. But if you intend to seek the truth, then I must stand in your way.
what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
He's going to betray you, Master.
Betray me?
It's up to you, Yuma. This is your final chance to save the world you believe in. What are you going to do? It's time to decide your past and your future.
Why, Vivia?
Let me ask you. How did the culprit bypass the toxic gas chamber? It's impossible to avoid the gas. The culprit would surely die. You should already know this, right? The gas has a special trait. The gas can see through even a gas mask. No ability can nullify its toxicity. Once it hits you, you're done for. You die before reaching Wesker. No one can get past the gas chamber.
What?
Right.
But
Hmm?
Yeah, it takes 30 minutes.
Let me ask you,
That's more than enough time.
how did the culprit bypass the toxic gas chamber? It's impossible to avoid the gas. The culprit would surely die. You should already know this, right? The gas has a special trait. The gas can see through even a gas mask. No ability can nullify its toxicity. Once it hits you, you're done for. You die before reaching Wesker. No one can get...
This is the truth.
if you pass through the toxic gas, you'll die. But you'll have 30 minutes before it kills you. Which means you could survive for 30 minutes.
What? Don't tell me.
There are no gas masks here that can block this toxic gas. And no fortes that can nullify it. There's only one way you could get through it. You do nothing. You endure it in hopes of Amapal taking you to the next room.
Then the culprit didn't do anything to counteract it and just passed through the toxic gas?
Yeah, it's who I think it is.
It's the only explanation that makes sense. This is the truth. I can't believe it. But if the culprit really did just endure the toxic gas,
Then they...
the culprit is...
It appears you finally glimpsed the truth. Well, how does it feel to have your world shatter before your eyes? Isn't this what you wanted?
What's he talking about?
Yomi's Mystery Phantom and Fifia are both right. Subconsciously, I didn't want to know the truth.
Huh?
Up until now, the Mystery Labyrinth was withholding the mysteries that led to the culprit. And that's because it's a reflection of my own reluctance.
Master, what's wrong? Do you know who the culprit is? It's the hitman, right?
No.
The truth is worthless. Nothing has less value in this isolated, rainy city. No one wants the truth. Not even you! Now, rot away and die right here! No one will get in my way. Kanai Lord, Amaterasu, they both belong to me! If the culprit carried out the crime like you deduced, then they should be dead from the toxic gas. But no one at the scene has died from poisoning. If you can understand that much, then what are you still doing here?
You're right that no one in that lab died from that toxic gas. But that was part of the culprit's plan from the beginning. They planned to distort the facts of their death.
Yuma, are you sure you want to face the truth? Your world will fall apart. The world that you believed in.
Your deduction is wrong. Don't disturb the peace. It's not even worth debating. Is this the best you can do to refute it? Just give up and die!
With this, I'll expose the truth! The culprit misrepresented their death by using the Hitman. The culprit realized their plan would be exposed if someone in the lab died from toxic gas. So they used the Hitman to cover up their own death.
Use the Hitman?
Meaning, the Hitman wasn't hired to assassinate the doctor. They were hired to cover up the culprit's death by toxic gas.
Huh? The Hitman's target was the culprit? Not the doctor? But the doctor was stabbed by the knife with the inscribed F. Doesn't that belong to the Hitman?
All you would need is a similar knife. The story of Fink the Slaughter Artist using a knife inscribed with the letter F is well known.
Nah, we leave it alone until we receive further orders. Did you see the knife stuck in his back? It's the one that Fink the Slaughter Artist uses, right? I've heard about his knives inscribed with the letter F.
So, it was all a ruse? The real culprit made it look like the Hitman did it?
Stop. Stop, 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 stop! To hell with detectives and the truth! I won't let you have your way in my city! There is no real culprit! Dr. Wesker was killed by the Hitman!
That would be a real culprit, you dumbass.
Huh? What's going on? Who's the real culprit?
The real culprit. The real culprit is...
The time has finally come, Yuma. It's time for you to acknowledge what you've known all along. If the tiny crack spreads any further, the mirror will shatter, exposing the chaos of the real world. Knowing this, will you still expose the truth? Then, show me your conviction.
The clues pointing to the identity of the Hitman's target. I know. I've known all along.
Now, expose the truth. Do it if you want to burn the world down.
The bloodstained photo found in the hallway near the lab. There was a person pictured with a woman. That was the Hitman's target. The real culprit behind this case. The blood obscured the person's face. But I know who it is. It could only be one person. It could only be...
How do you know? That person in the photo is the Hitman's target. And who is...
It's...
No. Stop! Don't you dare say another word! No one wants the truth!
I don't understand, but good luck, Master. I'm always by your side.
God damn it.
Damn it.
Chief. Yako.
Huh? Why? Why is Fuzzhead here?
Chief Yako was the only person attacked by the hitman in the lab. In other words, the Chief was the hitman's target. But Chief Yako tried to hide that photo by tossing it behind the houseplant. He hid it knowing it'd be an important clue. And that's because the person in the photo is Chief Yako himself. It was given to the hitman so he'd know his target. And the Chief tried to conceal it, which means the blood covering the face on the photo was likely done on purpose.
Hold on, Master! Are you serious? You're really saying Fuzzhead is the culprit? Really? I don't buy it. You think he actually put together this elaborate murder? He's knocking on death's door just for this?
I don't want to believe it either, but there's no other way.
Don't forget this stuff!
The Phantom vanished. The truth has been mostly exposed, and the labyrinth cannot function much longer. Anything I do now might not matter, but I'll do it anyway. Because it's something I must do. While the Chief takes his final breaths.
Vivia.
Yuma. If Chief Yako is the culprit, then what about that death threat? Why would the Chief send it if he was the killer? Answer me, Yuma. Not the reason.
I didn't press the button. What? Oh, I didn't press the button on the third one, so why did the fuck did it... Okay. Because the first one doesn't make any sense. Oh, it was the first one. Okay.
By sending that note, everyone would believe the doctor's life was in danger, which was necessary for this sequence of events to take place. All the master detectives headed to the secret lab because of that note. Chief Yako brought them here to take advantage of their abilities and murder the doctor.
Huh? Their abilities?
But the death threat wasn't sent just to the detectives. The peacekeepers received it too. What was the point of that? Why put them on high alert? What is the truth behind it all? Chief couldn't have been thinking about that.
Was it to use the disguise ability? Never been a fan of this puzzle in particular.
The note was sent to the Peacekeepers because they were also part of the plan. When the Peacekeepers received the note, they dispatched a lot of their personnel to the scene. The Master Detectives were able to take advantage of the commotion to enter the facility. They did it by disguising themselves as Peacekeepers.
It would be convenient to have a lot of Peacekeepers around if you want to get into the lab disguised as one.
This is why the Peacekeepers also received the death threat.
Hey, you still want to do this? It's not too late to give up.
I am well aware of the danger. I haven't gotten this much exercise in a long time, but this is something I must do. I can't leave the Chief like this.
Vivia.
Let's continue, Yuma. So, everyone disguised themselves as peacekeepers and entered the lab. You were already at the lab, and that's where you met up with the Chief, right?
Yes, but we decided to split up after the blackout occurred.
Wait! That blackout should have caused a commotion. If we leave now, the Peacekeepers will see us. I knew it. This place is crawling with them.
What do we do?
I'll draw their attention to buy some time. In the meantime, you two hurry to that doctor.
The Chief said he'd buy us some time, but he actually went and hid inside the airlock.
Was the blackout part of the plan? So the one who caused it, was that also the Chief?
The Chief was with me in the security room at the time of the blackout. It's impossible for him to have caused it. So the only person it could be is the Hitman. It must have been part of the job. He instructed the Hitman to cause a blackout at a specific time.
But why?
It made us think the doctor was in danger, so we'd go check on him. We used Amapal and Fortes to get through the tight security system. Chief Yako had it all planned out from the start. He used us to break through the security so he could kill the doctor.
So, Master using Amapal and the Sheltered Skank's time rewinding ability at the panel chamber? That was all part of Fuzzhead's plan?
The only way to get past security was to use both Amapal and that Forte. The Chief knew we'd figure that out.
I think it's more like he trusted us. He trusted that we would arrive at that conclusion.
I'm counting on you both. See you later.
Trust? How could this be a trust thing? He was clearly taking advantage of you all. He gathered the Master Detectives using a fake death threat, then used their Fortes to commit murder. What a scumbag! He used you all to get away with murder! Out of all the criminals I've ever met, he's the worst coward of them all! Master, grab that coward and...
Enough!
Why did it have to come to this? Chief Yako saved me. He took me in. I had lost everything. Even my memories. Sure, he may have been a little pushy at times, but still. I really admired him. So, why? Why did you do it? Is this about the woman in the picture? Chief, please tell me! Or...
There's no point in asking. That's just a mystery phantom. It's not the real Fuzzhead. Master, watch out!
The phantoms are a reflection of the same people in the real world, right? Which means he should hold the same thoughts. The photo behind the houseplant. I don't know what the chief was hiding, but that photo must have been dropped by the hitman after he was done with it. The chief picked it up and used his own blood to obscure the face. He knew the truth would be exposed if that photo was found. So, he hid it behind the potted plant. He left his blood on it, almost like he wrote a dying message, but in truth, it was actually a secret he wanted to keep hidden.
Master, I think you know this, but to exit the mystery labyrinth, you will have to eliminate the culprit.
He's already gonna die, so it's fine.
Eliminate the chief?
Are you really going to do this?
He's already gonna die. It's not like anything's gonna change.
After all the mysteries are solved, the chief back in the real world will die. But you saw yourself, Yuma.
Yes, exactly.
The chief is already knocking on death's door. Will you still bury him in the name of truth?
The chief took me in when I had no memories, or anyone to turn to. I trusted him from the bottom of my heart. Now, I have to end his life?
You know, I liked it, surprisingly.
Shut up, Vivia.
The little bit of peace and quiet I found at the Nocturnal Detective Agency.
Shut up, Vivia.
Vivia, you knew the truth behind this case from the very beginning.
I had a hunch. Because of my spectral projection, I knew the chief had been planning something for quite some time, but I pretended not to see. I admired him and the world he had made.
That's why you threatened me, and were so uncooperative in the investigation.
I knew you would reach the truth eventually, Yuma. But I tried my best to keep you away. Exposing the truth, neither the chief nor you.
Master, you've already come this far. You've got to finish this. What'll happen to the other master detectives if you die here? Didn't you say you wanted to expose the truth and save everyone?
Vivia, you told me that the time would come when I'd have to prove my conviction. The conviction to accept the truth, no matter how cruel it may be. Now is that time, isn't it?
Yes, and yet you intend to continue, if you're prepared for it.
Hey! You better not get in Master's way again!
Yuma, do you remember when the chief's soul called out to us?
Huh?
Yeah, the truth is cruel. Never in history has the truth been known to be kind. But you know what? Turning your eyes away from the truth and living a lie is harsh too. In the end, you can never look away from the truth. As long as you live, you must face that pain. So really, what's the point of worrying so much about when you're lost? Believe in your own heart. That way, even if things end up all wrong, at least you can stand proud.
I always averted my eyes from the truth. For my own sake. My own peace and quiet. But I could never say with confidence that I was proud of myself. In the end, I was just running away from everything. That's why I entrust this to you, Yuma.
Entrust what?
You signed a pact with the Death God and your desire for the truth. I want to see your conviction. As long as you don't stray from exposing all truth, I believe you'll be able to face it, cruel as it may be. I want to see it through to the end. It's why I followed you here. In that sense, we're accomplices. If you must bring down the chief, then I will lend a hand. I won't avert my eyes any longer. I, too, want to live with my head held high, because I, too, am a detective.
Vivia.
When you're lost, believe in your own heart. That way, even if things end up all wrong, at least you can stand proud.
I understand, Chief Yako. Thank you for everything you've done for me!
No God Shinigami on this one. Damn cat. What are you doing? Oh, this sucks, dude. I fucking hate this, man. Oh, why is it always like this? Why do I play these games? Shinigami, please don't sound so excited.
Yo, a research doctor, a hitman, and master detectives. 2 dead bodies, but lots of shady characters. Truth bombs are about to be dropped. Time for the deduction denouement.
The victim in this case is one Dr. Weska. This incident features a sinister and meticulously detailed plot centered on the doctor.
The old geezer was holed up inside a lab at Amaterasu HQ. He was was a total hermit in the critical lab with a totally overkill security system.
The culprit made thorough preparations beforehand to break through that system.
Boom killing a shut-in is hard work. The humane thing to do is to reintroduce him to society first.
Yeah, with that out of the way. Posing as a hitman, the culprit sent a death threat to the Peacekeepers, the Detective Agency, and the Research Lab. At the same time, they contracted a real hitman and had him infiltrate the research facility.
They spilled the beans about Gramps being in danger to lure both the Peacekeepers and the detectives to the lab.
You see, the Master Detective's presence at the scene was an indispensable part of the plan. It was how the culprit gained access to the research facility, after all. The hitman infiltrated the lab exactly as planned. And we arrived with Makoto at the same time.
Stuff went down, blah blah blah.
So,
Master got locked up by that Yomi
there
guy.
has to be another chapter after this,
I was
right?
rescued by Desuhiko and the culprit, who were disguised as peacekeepers. With the real peacekeepers rushing around, the culprit took advantage of the turmoil to sneak into the lab.
If this was the final chapter, then there must be a crazy-ass fucking epilogue.
Separating the culprit from the rest of the group.
The blackout itself was caused by the hitman, right? And getting separated was all part of the culprit's plan.
I'm hoping there's another chapter, because if this was the final chapter, that means the game ended on a low note, and I really hope that's not the case, because the rest of the game has been
We
incredible.
headed to the critical lab to check on the doctor's condition, just like the culprit directed us. But since that lab used a separate power supply, nothing strange had happened.
This whole "the doctor's in danger" spiel was an act, huh? He made a fool of you, Master. What a dick!
But then, someone attacked the doctor while we were trying to talk with him over the intercom. We had to get into the doctor's lab.
But that time, the old geezer was playing games with us. And he even tried to kill you and the others with a trap! That bastard wanted to use your dead bodies! He really got you there, Master!
I don't see why you're so happy about it. The doctor's sham made the case even more confusing. Even if we tried to get to the doctor, the critical lab was guarded by tight security. The only way through was by using an Amapal. The culprit rode on it by emerging from their hiding place in the airlock vent and jumping onto the robot's head.
All aboard the Amapal Express! First stop, a shower of toxic gas! Humans can't protect themselves against the gas, but since it's not instantly fatal, it wasn't a problem.
Spike Chunsoft just released a fucking statement saying that they have a new patch for this game. That's great. It was posted 30 minutes ago. Thanks for the update.
So we managed a perfect
Let's see what the patch notes are.
lab was finally breached.
The culprit had anticipated we would get through this way. They also knew they would die over and over as a result. The camera feed was affected when the culprit jumped on. I should have realized what was happening.
No use crying over spilled blood. On to the next thing. Where were we? Oh yeah! To open the door to the doctor's lab, Amapal had to reach out its arm and hit a switch. And when the door opened wide enough for a person to squeeze through,
Oh.
the killer snuck inside.
Amapal can't follow any new commands while its arm is extended.
The game is getting
The culprit didn't
DLC'd.
show up on the camera.
Fuck.
Then the culprit Boom killed the old geezer using the same
They just announced DLC too.
Gramps was pretty much deaf, so a backstab was easy peasy.
Then, the murderer tried to leave the room before Amapal entered. But they knocked the robot over on the way out.
They then went back into the airlock chamber vent to wait for you and the others to go by.
We entered the critical lab and found the doctor's body. The culprit used that time to get out of the vent and head for the hallway.
That was when they were found by the hitman and stabbed.
They'd already been in contact with the toxic gas, so death was inevitable. However, dying by gas would expose them as the doctor's killer. So they hired the hitman to kill them, thereby concealing any involvement.
I guess that means the killer completely trusted in the Master Detective's capabilities.
Right.
They knew those powers would get them close to the doctor. But why were they willing to die to hide the crime?
I can't say for certain. Was it his pride as a detective? Did he simply not want his friends to know? Whatever it may be, I'm prepared to face the truth. The culprit who murdered Dr. Weska, and even included his own death in the plot.
Jaco Furio! It was you!
Ow. Ow. Oh, fuck, that hurt.
I will expose the truth!
You better give us a damn good reason why the fuck you did this.
But why? Chief Jaco, why? Why didn't you ever talk to us about this? Why did it have to end this way? Is this really what you wanted? Can you even hear me?
It doesn't matter who it is. Exterminating the real culprit's soul and destroying the mystery labyrinth. That's why I'm here.
Is he not gonna... We're not gonna get to know?
Surging bloodlust. Overflowing despair. The brilliant soul of Shinigami shall expunge this cursed case. Death to all deplorables. Through to the final mystery labyrinth.
What? The fuck was that? What the fuck just happened?
Master's naivete must be rubbing off on me. I mean, not even I hated Fuzzhead. That's weird. This mystery labyrinth is falling apart slower than usual.
We shouldn't let our guards down yet.
I was gonna say, there has to be more to it.
Do you really think we're done here?
Huh?
Do you have all of the fragments of truth that you sought? If so, we could just leave, right?
No, we haven't uncovered everything yet. No. There are still some mysteries remaining.
I was gonna say, that can't be the end.
What's remaining? I reaped the culprit's soul already. I know it's slow, but this place is starting to come down.
Maybe it's not directly related to this case. I don't want to leave any questions unanswered. For Chief Yako's sake, please, help me, Shinigami.
Oh, fine. I can't say no to you, Master. You know I can't resist helping you when you rely on me. First, we need to reveal whatever mysteries are left. That should open up a new path. Lay it all out, Master.
Motive. We don't know what Yako's we don't know what his motive was.
Try to solve it, lickety-split! You can do it, Master! Wrong!
What?
Tick.
I don't...
That's not it! That's not it!
I don't...
You're wrong! Keep that up! You're wrong!
I don't understand what the fuck they're looking for. What does the doctor have to do with this? The answer's not experiment. Oh my god, why the fuck did it put me all the way back here? Yeah, this mystery labyrinth has pissed me off a couple times.
That's right! You're wrong! Nice!
Oh, his email.
Oh, it's a secret dungeon! The labyrinth must be breaking down so slowly because the identity of the culprit isn't the only mystery. But it's still definitely coming down, so you better hurry, Master!
Yeah, got it.
Yuma, I'll follow you to the end until you reach the truth.
Thank you.
Do you regret this, Yuma?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
I've been thinking. Remember what the Chief's soul said? If you keep that in mind while knowing who the true culprit is, doesn't it seem like he wanted you to find the truth? Even though he was the culprit himself.
Why is that?
Maybe there's a hidden truth behind this case, and the Chief wanted us to find it.
There could be some anonymous person involved.
If Anonymous is part of this case, They must have a motive for killing Dr. Wesker as well.
It's gonna end up being
The doctor
someone we
knew
know.
about the secret dealings and was planning to flee from Kanai Ward by himself.
Dude, number 1 only showed up one time.
Could it be that Anonymous took advantage of Chief Yako by instigating him to commit murder?
Yes. It's unlikely the Chief just happened to kill Dr. Wesker right as he was planning to flee.
If that's true, Anonymous isn't just involved in the case. They could be the mastermind, the Grey Eminence.
Gray's my 13th favorite color.
Why are you telling me that now?
The case is already solved. All these crimes were committed by Yako on his own. Now,
What was that voice?
Someone's trying to stop us from solving this mystery. Now we know. The mastermind is somewhere within this labyrinth.
get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out.
What's with this guy? Creepy.
We can't let this stop us. There's one more truth still hidden here. We have to find it. We need to know why the Chief committed this crime.
Right. We'll figure this out.
Get out. The case solved. Solved.
That claim doesn't hold up! No, it still isn't solved yet! I will discover who the mastermind is! I will solve every mystery! I will not turn away from the truth!
Yako's the culprit. Everything was planned by Yako alone. He hired Fink the slaughter artist. He prepared the murder weapon. We even killed the doctor. Yako acted alone. So what about this Anonymous? Even if they did, you'll never find out who they are. There is nothing connecting Yako to Anonymous.
It's that one, but I don't know what to slash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing connecting Yako.
The culprit.
Gonna be that.
Everything was planned by
Yako.
Here it comes. He hired Fink the slaughter artist. He prepared the murder weapon. He even killed the doctor. Yako acted alone. So what about this Anonymous? Even if they did, you'll never find out who they are. There is nothing connecting Yako to Anonymous.
I'll slash through this mystery! Chief Yako tried to hide this floor plan along with that photo of himself. It was strange for him to have this in the first place. This is the link between Anonymous and the Chief.
Kill you. In the name of justice. Kill Everything! Who cares about some map? It doesn't prove a damn thing! It has nothing to do with the doctor's murder! Yes. Anyone could find it!
This is the truth! The floor plan the Chief had was from the lab's storage.
But that room was locked. No one could enter it. It was completely sealed
Come
off.
on, Anonymous being Yomi is so fucking cliche.
Only the
Come
director
on.
of the Peacekeepers had access. So, the only person who could have gotten that floor plan was Peacekeeper Director Yomi.
The anonymous person who gave Chief Yako the floor plan and pushed him to commit murder was you, the director of the Peacekeepers, Yomi Hellsmile!
That's a damn shame.
You were the mastermind. You were pulling the strings from behind the scenes.
That. Please don't let that be like the actual true answer.
You instigated the Chief to commit murder!
I never thought someone as empty as me could feel so much emotion. This is the first time in my life I felt this angry.
How did you do it? What did you do to drive the Chief to murder? Answer me!
I'm not telling you anything, idiot.
Huh?
So what if you figured it out? Who cares? It's too late now, you pathetic ingrates. Everyone died just as I planned. Now no one can stand in my way. No one can lay a hand on me. You should be grateful. I'm cleaning up this city.
What did you say?
Master, I hate to admit it, but Yomi's right. You can't do anything to him here.
Why not?
He manipulated Fuzzhead from behind the scenes, but he wasn't the one who murdered the doctor. This mystery labyrinth is for the murder of Dr. Huesca. You can't punish Yomi.
Then what can we do? He has to pay for what he did!
We can't do anything! That's why I'm freaking out too!
So, exposing the truth would be pointless? Then why have we been seeking it all this time?
The truth is meaningless. I'm in charge in Kanai Ward. I have to laugh. Who could have guessed things would go so well? Yako Furio was a pain in the ass. The only reason I kept him alive is for this moment. He didn't even realize I was manipulating him into killing the doctor for me. How stupid can you be?
You'll pay for this.
Master, time's up. The mystery labyrinth is about to be destroyed.
If only we had found out what he was up to sooner, we might have been able to stop him. Still, I should be able to bring this memory back into the real world. I'll remember this confession. I'm not sure if it'll help, but I'll interrogate him once we return to the real world.
It doesn't matter. I'll cover it all up. You're all nothing but scum beneath my feet. I'm untouchable. And now, I'm gonna dispose of you like the trash you are!
Damn it!
Hey, hurry up! Execute these scumbags immediately! Criminals have no rights!
You will pay for this! What's with that look? Are you seriously going to defy me? Well, I don't care. You're all going to die now.
This is real bad, Master! He's serious!
Wait. Director Yomi Hellsmile. We know all about your secret dealings with Dr. Weska.
Vivia! What? Did you say something? Maybe I'll kill the loudest one of you first. If you have something to say, go ahead. I can't hear you! Come on, who wants to be the first to die?
Damn it! Forget it. I guess I'll just kill both of you at the same time.
This guy isn't listening to a thing we say! If he was the real culprit, I'd boot kill him!
It's all going exactly how he wants. Solving the case didn't help anything.
Come on.
Goodbye. Hope you enjoy the worst nightmare of your life as you die.
The only one who will be having nightmares is you.
No, Makoto. Thank you for showing up.
I thought you went back to the surface! What are you doing here?
Well, Yomi, there's something I want you to see. What do you think of this?
How did you get that?
Most of the secret deals you've been making over the years are listed here. Looks like someone's been cooking the books. You conspired with Dr. Weska and leaked Amaterasu's technology to other national enterprises. And with the money you obtained, you bribed the right people to control this city.
Lies! You made that all up! Hey! I don't care if he is the CEO. Arrest this masked freak! We can't let this outsider barge in here and take control of this city! Capture him, execute him, chop his head off, crush his skull! What's wrong? Why are you just standing there? If you're scared, then I'll offer a bounty! Whoever kills him gets 100 million Shin! Why won't you obey me? He's using false information to tear the Peacekeepers apart! You
What's
want
happening?
that? You'll all be out of a job! Kanai Ward is better off without people like him! This city's fallen into ruin ever since he showed up! Now follow my orders! This city doesn't belong to him. It belongs to me, the great Yomi!
I'm sorry, Director Yomi. This city doesn't belong to anyone.
She survived.
You... Martina, you're alive?
Oh, what a twist.
Makoto stopped the execution order you issued. I am here today thanks to him.
I'm so happy.
Martina is right. Kanai Ward belongs to everyone who lives here. It doesn't belong to you!
Shinigami?
Probably best to stay quiet and watch for now.
So, you're on that freak's side now?
I won't stand for this. You're a member of the Peacekeepers! I won't allow such insubordination!
Director Yomi, there's something I'd like to say to you. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to consult with a lawyer.
What?
Your reign is over, Yomi Hellsmile. Now, everyone, arrest the offending suspect. Please, do not be too rough. Even criminals have rights.
Damn it. Damn you! Mark my words, you masked bastard! Yomi Hellsmile will be back! And when I am, I'll kill you!
I'll rip you to pieces for taking everything from me! You're all dead. I'll kill every last one of you!
As we discussed before, upon receiving his punishment, I hereby resign from my role in the Peacekeepers.
You don't have to.
I must. This is my way of taking responsibility as his accomplice. Well, Chief Executive Makoto, I hope you will see to the rest.
Sorry for causing so much trouble. That should settle things for now.
What's going on?
While the Peacekeepers had their hands full with the lab incident, I snuck into Yomi's room and looked around. And there, I found this file. It's all thanks to you.
Don't tell me. You meant to bring us here to be a decoy from the start?
It was all just a series of coincidences.
Looks like I wasn't able to die once again. Well, at least things worked out.
That was really dangerous. I thought you were done for, Master.
Makoto showing up really saved us. Though it seems like he was using me and the others.
I'm sorry about what happened to Chief Yako. With Yomi gone, there's a change in the winds of Kanai Ward, even through the endless downpour. I will rebuild this city from the ground up, because I love this city more than anyone else.
I see.
By the way, how did your investigation at the secret lab go? Did you find what you were looking for? You know, the so-called immortal monster, the homunculus.
No, I didn't find anything.
Maybe homunculi are just rumors, but let me know if you'd still like help in your search. If it's within my power, I'll permit you detectives to search anywhere in Kanai Ward.
Thanks.
Well, I need to get going. You should return to your friends.
We've been talking about that for 3 chapters now, and you're gonna tell me that it was a fucking red herring?
I'm sure they're worried about you.
Plus, you need to tell everyone what happened to Fuzzhead.
Oh, one more thing. I have a gift for you, my friend. To express my gratitude.
A gift?
Kanai Ward will be reborn, thanks to you.
I haven't done anything.
No, that's not true. Please, accept the gift. We're friends, aren't we? Oh, but don't open it yet. It's a bit of a surprise.
Sure. Okay.
See you later.
Look, he is back!
Are you alright? We saw a bunch of Peacekeepers heading that way.
Well, how did the investigation go?
The case is closed.
Closed? Really?
I see. I'm relieved to hear that. Now the Chief can rest without any regrets.
Rest? Wait. Do you mean the Chief? Wait, you're joking, right?
He passed away quite a while ago. I was hoping he would live until Yuma and the others returned, but there was nothing we could do.
A while ago? Then that means he was dead before the Mystery Labyrinth. No, it can't be. Chief Yako, please, tell me you're only sleeping. I will turn back time now, so please, open your eyes!
Stop it! There's no need to keep pestering the Chief.
But...
I wish I could do something too! He's dead! As a detective, you should understand that. Don't sob like a baby. I want to cry too, but...
Was he already dead? Or was it due to the Mystery Labyrinth? We'll never know.
It doesn't matter.
I think I'll head home now. My business here is done.
So cold-hearted. As usual. He's like an emotionless robot.
Vivia, we should head back too. With the Chief, of course.
Master. How long are you gonna let this get you down? I know you're shocked that Buzzhead was the culprit. But you and I solved it together, so shouldn't we be celebrating?
Solved it? Yes, we did learn the truth. But it didn't resolve anything. What's the point of solving something if it doesn't save anyone? In the end, we still don't know why the chief did it. How could you even consider it solved?
I understand why you're upset. Alright, I'll leave you alone for now. Yuma? I thought you'd be here.
Kurumi,
Hey! I just promised I'd give him some alone time!
are you sure you should be walking around alone at this hour?
I heard about Chief Yako. Hey, Yuma. Did we make a mistake? If we didn't try to find that secret lab, maybe Chief Yako would still be alive.
I don't know if what we did was right or wrong. But either way, I think it would have ended like this eventually.
I'm glad to see that you've returned safely.
Thank you.
To tell the truth, while you were at the lab, I looked into Chief Yako's past a bit.
Huh?
I was just curious. Do you remember that talk on the submarine?
To me, this town is my life. My bitter past, my fun memories, they're all right here. I just wanted to protect the happiness I found within arm's reach. But it wasn't easy. It was too much for me to handle on my own. And as a result, I lost everything. I was an empty shell until you all came along.
In short, the chief lost his wife 4 years ago. She was a researcher at Amaterasu's lab.
The chief's wife was an Amaterasu researcher?
On top of that, his wife's death was declared an accident, but there seems to be more to the story. At the time, the lab's head researcher was suspected of leaking technological information. It was the chief's wife that blew the whistle. If what she said was true, he would have been removed. But on the day before the commission came to investigate, an experiment went wrong and exploded, killing her.
It's obvious that someone was trying to silence her.
Yeah. Chief Yako probably suspected that too. In the end, I don't know what conclusion he reached.
So that's who the chief wanted to protect most. It's what he meant when he said he lost everything.
And the person his wife accused was Weska.
Dr. Weska.
Do you know who that is?
No, it doesn't ring a bell. It's getting late. Let's head back to the detective agency. The chief's final words. I think they were actually meant for himself.
Yeah, the truth is cruel. Never in history has the truth been known to be kind. But you know what? Turning your eyes away from the truth and living a lie is harsh too. In the end, you can never look away from the truth. As long as you live, you must face that pain. So really, what's the point of worrying so much about it? When you're lost, believe in your own heart. That way, even if things end up all wrong, at least you can stand proud.
But I think he was wrong. Because everyone is mourning you, Chief. Chief, I've made up my mind. No matter how cruel it may be, I will expose the truth hidden in this city.
Hey, did you come up with this dish yourself? I've never had anything so tasty.
Thank you. Cooking is all I'm really good at, after all.
Are you hungry? Can I make you something at the agency?
Well, I guess I haven't eaten in a while.
What? This flatty is gonna mix something dangerous into your food. I suggest you stay far away. Alright. What should I make? I need to cheer you up. I'll go on ahead and make something in the kitchen.
She seems rather considerate.
Yeah.
I wish you'd be more considerate to me.
Yuma, does light shine into your world now that you've obtained the truth?
I don't know. It's like you said. I feel as though the world's ended. I tried so hard to find the truth. Should I not have done that?
You should ask yourself that. Tomorrow, the you of tomorrow, will have an answer for the you of today.
As usual, I'm not quite sure what you mean, Vivia. What's that?
It was hidden in the drawer of the chief's desk. It seems like a letter from Anonymous.
Anonymous? You mean Yomi?
Of course, he didn't know Anonymous was Yomi. This letter mentioned the truth behind his wife's death 4 years ago.
The truth?
It describes how Dr. Weska conspired to murder her. The facts were laid out, cold and calculated. I wonder, how did the chief feel when he read it? It's not hard to imagine him burning with a desire for revenge against Dr. Weska. By the way, this letter arrived right after I was dispatched to Kanai Ward. In other words, the motive and means were both in the chief's hands.
So the letter was the trigger.
In my ghost form, I've seen the chief staring at this letter in secret many times. Back then, I didn't know what he was reading, but I know the chief was thinking about it constantly. Perhaps the map of the lab was sent together with this letter.
If so, then it was a total setup.
I'm sure the chief deeply regretted using our fortes as part of his crime. Or maybe that's just the truth I seek. Maybe it's nothing more than wishful thinking.
You might be right. I think the chief wavered back and forth the whole time.
Yeah, I agree.
Some people think Vivia is cold-hearted, but I think he cared deeply for the chief. He really did admire him.
Well, I think he's terrible at showing it. He needs to work on his facial expressions at the very least.
By the way, Yomi definitely was the mastermind who worked in the shadows to put this together. But that aside, there's one more person I'm curious about.
You mean Makoto Kagutsuchi? I know. Do you think it was a coincidence he brought me to the lab today? Or... Oh, the phone.
It's a call from the WDO. We should go back inside.
Is this not the last chapter? It feels like it's the last chapter, but there's a chance that it's not. Because I feel like there's still like a shit ton of like overarching stuff that we don't know about. And I swear to God, if they force those into DLCs, I'm going to be really pissed off.
I know about Yako Furio. Who could have suspected that a proud detective of the WDO would commit murder?
He doesn't know anything.
If only the World Detective Organization had sent support to Kanai Ward sooner.
Stop it. There's no point in saying that now.
I can hear you. Enough idle talk. Focus. The only thing a detective must do is solve cases. Concentrate on solving mysteries. Emotions will only shackle you as a detective. Emotions must be discarded to reach a perfect solution through a perfect deduction. I know you're suffering from the loss of your chief, but the investigation must continue until Kanai Ward's ultimate secret is revealed. The great global mystery will never be solved. These are heavy responsibilities. It demands your complete attention.
In that case, please tell us, what is the Great Global Mystery? Many master detectives have already been killed. Keeping us in the dark could lead to more deaths, like what happened to our chief.
Very well. The Great Global Mystery is a mass kidnapping case.
What?
Huh? Kidnapping?
Yes. Countless people from around the world have been kidnapped and taken to Kanai Ward. We are searching for the heinous criminal responsible.
Heinous criminal? Lots of people have been taken to Kanai Ward?
But where could they gather that many people in this city?
Well, I have an idea.
Huh? Seriously?
Alara seems to know something. You'd better go have a chat, Master.
This is not over.
The restricted area. They could gather all the kidnapped people there.
You're right. That would be the perfect place to hide them.
I was planning on discussing it later, but there is some new information about that place. It appears that the restricted area does in fact have a corpse disposal facility.
However, there are lots of rumors about the restricted area. For example, they even say it's a corpse disposal facility where bodies from Kanai Ward are dumped off.
Oh boy.
What? That rumor was true?
In Kanai Ward, corpses rot easily due to the humidity from the rain, so they are quick to retrieve bodies. The corpses are then loaded onto trucks and transported to the restricted area for disposal. But that process is managed by a department with a handful of people working directly for Amaterasu's CEO. On top of that, they are only involved in transportation. They aren't aware of what happens afterwards. How the bodies are buried and who buries them is a mystery.
All of this secrecy around the burials. It's suspiciously cautious.
The CEO is that Makoto guy, right? Does he have something to do with the corpse burials?
But how is the global kidnapping case related to a corpse disposal facility?
I know! They are forcing the kidnapped people to bury the bodies!
I doubt it. Why bother kidnapping just for that?
Anyway, there's definitely something happening in the city. Something sinister.
We just don't know what it is.
While we're at it, perhaps I should share the information I've obtained as well.
Huh? You got something too?
That anemic vampire knows something. I sure...
I don't know if it has anything to do with what's going on here. But while I was using spectral projection to search for the secret lab, I kept hearing about a strange rumor in town. There's a taboo among Kanai Ward's residents. Something they must never discuss in front of outsiders.
Taboo?
He's probably the only one who could have learned that. I doubt anyone would mention it in front of detectives.
So what was it about?
The Blank Week Mystery.
What?
The Blank Week Mystery?
Unfortunately, all I know is its name. And that
There
it's
has to be
taboo to
there has to
mention
be
it in
another
Kanai
chapter
Ward.
after this. There just has to be.
Huh? That's it? I don't get it.
Well, it does sound ominous. Maybe it has something to do with the mass kidnapping and the restricted area.
But all we have to go on is the term.
The Blank Week Mystery is taboo in Kanai Ward. I wonder if Kurumi has heard about it.
She's an informant who may be hiding information. If that's true, we'll have to torture the info out of...
The Great Global Mystery, the Restricted Area, the Blank Week Mystery, and a heinous criminal pursued by the WDO. After coming this far, we're still discovering more mysteries. How are they all connected? What is going on in Kanai Ward?
Listen closely, detectives. If this case is ignored, more people will fall victim. You are the only ones who can stop it. The World Detective Organization never overlooks a mystery. Any and all truths must be exposed. As always, we are aiming for a perfect solution. Now that I'm involved in this case, I will guide us to that end. Go forth, proud detectives. Eliminate all
What?
What?
What's going on?
What was that flash?
Number 1, I heard an explosion.
Was he
What's
just...
that? Another branch. A news flash. All right, give me the video feed.
We bring you breaking news. The WDO headquarters has been struck by a terrorist bombing. Here's live footage from the scene. You can see the fierce fire consuming it. For those of you just tuning in.
Terror attack?
The WDO. What's going on?
What is this? What is happening? Master, this is...
You motherfucker.
Is this? I must rewind.
No, it's gas. Everyone, hold your breath.
I wanna die someday.
Hey, Master!
Makoto, you son of a bitch. I knew it. This is not over. There is another chapter. Thank God that there's another chapter. Yeah, I knew it. Oof. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this stream. I'm so happy that there's another chapter. It really was feeling like that was gonna be the end of the game. I'm so glad that it's continuing. I was like, it can't end like this. Like, I was gonna be so mad, but there's at least one more fucking chapter. I am so excited to get to it. So, either we will play it, we'll probably play it tomorrow. It's 11 a.m. now. I'm going to be celebrating 4th of July with family. So I will make sure that this VOD is up. There's somebody that requested that the VOD would be put up. So I'm going to make sure that those VODs are ready to go. And then we will play this tomorrow. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. And then I think we're gonna finish this game tomorrow. So I will see you guys at the next stream. So if you were here, thank you guys so much, and I will see you later.